Toastmasters. And I did the exaggeration one. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, well, Carl mentioned old age. I'm not old age, but I'm approaching middle age. So I did middle age. And I came up with, as I approach middle age, I find that finding the beauty and the goodness in everything, but I need my reading glasses to see it. The other one I came up with, I'm having trouble reading my own writing. I'm finding it easier to laugh at myself, but I'm coming up with way too much material.
Thank you, and here's a copy of How to Win Your Audience with Bombproof Humor. Remember the premise of Bombproof Humor. If the audience doesn't know that you're trying to tell a joke, how can it bomb? We have additional resources at the back of the room, as we were talking about earlier. The book that this workshop is based on, How to Win Your Audience with Bombproof Humor. Darren McCrory, the 2001 world champion, says this is a book every presenter should read at least twice. If you don't have it, check the back of the room there. It's $15 here at the workshop. If you order it online from Amazon, you'll have to pay shipping charges. The other book back there is The Best of Writers' Top Tens. These are 20 years of humor columns. How many editors, newsletter editors are in the room here tonight? These are great humor columns when you're doing a newsletter. Snappy comebacks, one-liners, 1,500 themed humor columns. That book is only $10. Again, if you order it or get it here, you don't pay shipping. But for this workshop only, if you get both books, you save $5, and you get them both for $20. At this time, we have a few minutes for questions. Who has questions about what we learned tonight? Yes, sir.
You were talking about Zig Ziglar.
Stand up and let them hear you.
Okay. Well, you were talking about Zig Ziglar and humor every 7 minutes, but in the Toastmaster 7-minute speech, how much humor and when should we have that in there?
The question was, how much humor in a 7-minute speech? I would have at least 2 really good stories. You want your funniest story at the end. You want to leave them laughing. Your second funniest story should be in the opening. And then you could have a point in the middle or body of your speech where you use a humorous analogy to make that point and get a third laugh. So I would say shoot for 2 or 3 at least, 7-minute speech. The book tells you how to do that in the opening, body, and conclusion. Any other questions? We have, right here, sir. Fred, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to remark, we had dinner together tonight, and I was telling Carl that I had given, I was writing my 4th book, and I had given up on the first 3.
That was worth a book. Yes, sir.
Carl, we bought a condominium last month. Sunday, we put up this big, giant, one of those wraparound shower curtains. How did you know about that?
Any other questions about how to use bomb-proof humor? Do you see how this works? Do you see why we can claim that it's bomb-proof? I want you to grab onto that and to understand it and to believe it, because it does work. In the back of the room.
Who's your favorite comedian, Carl?
Favorite comedian is still Jay Leno, but Johnny Carson is gone, and he was my favorite. Yes, Denise.
Carl, what about appearance or change of wardrobe to help with your humor?
We have somebody at our Friday morning club that dresses funny. Or were you talking about new material, humor material? Right? I think the question is, where do you find material? It's everywhere. If you need a joke about a policeman, just Google police humor. If you need a joke about lawyers, Google lawyer jokes. The internet is a terrific resource. You can find anything that you want on any topic just by Googling it. There's also a ton of books on the market that you can buy, joke books, where the humor is organized by a theme. Back of the room, sir, ma'am.
A key thing,
Please stand.
a key thing in the humorous speech contest seems to be that it's all original. How do some of the suggestions you gave us impact on whether or not it's original? For instance, if you're Googling police jokes or something like that.
Well, as I said earlier, the question is, how do you create an original humorous speech, 7-minute humorous speech? You can Google humor. First, you have to decide what is your theme. Is it going to be a funny speech about marriage? Is it going to be about when you were a member of the circus? Whatever it is, you have to decide on a theme. Then you have to outline the points you're going to make. Then you research your humor. Now, if you, like I said earlier, if you steal from many, that's called research. It's when you plagiarize an entire stand-up comedy routine, word for word off the air. That's going to get you disqualified, if any of the judges recognize it. Over here, Joe?
You've known me for a long, long time. I've been trying to decide on who to copy on the field. And just a few minutes ago, I had an aha experience. I'm so excited I can't stand it almost. I've been trying to collect trialogues between two guys who don't have anything in common, like a salesman or a mechanic, and a manager, some kind of teacher. And I know I need to put some humor in. Well, it is my mechanic who can say occasionally, I've tried to sell, I've tried to do what you do, I've tried such and such, but all I ended up with such and such. The same could be done when guys are just one way or the other, whereas some of us who are sort of in the middle, we can't be funny. In fact, I don't want to be funny, I just would like to surround myself with humor. And it's by the two critters who say they've tried the other's traits, bringing out the importance of their traits, yet not for me. And I just remember you forever. You can have any check you write today, okay?
Excellent. Fellow Toastmasters, we're 15 minutes ahead of schedule. We want you to... Oh, one more question?
I would like to relate how a professor at our seminary, our minister, retorted when he was criticized. We begin our classes with prayer, usually by the professor or by someone whom he might call upon to do it. One morning, he called upon a particular student to lead us in prayer. Now, the professor was very intellectual. He had a vocabulary that was beyond that, far beyond that, of most of the students. And in his prayer, he said, Lord, be with our professor this morning. Help us to understand what he's saying. Of course, with the stillness, suspense in the classroom, what's he going to say? He said nothing. The next class, he called upon another student to lead a prayer, and when halfway on his feet, he said, wait a minute, I've been pretty far already today. Well, it got the students of both those classes getting together to get the full story. And this is the way in which the professor took care of the whole situation himself without over replying to the student who needed to be more considerate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Give me a hand. Fellow Toastmasters, remember, if anything can go well, it will, especially if you use Bombproof humor. Have a great evening.